Ever. Hands down. Really my favorite start.
Are we live? Maybe?
Probably.
Okay.
Are we live?
Should I? We're definitely live. We're definitely live.
I've heard this before.
He said this 3 minutes ago. We thought we were live.
I think it's like a 60-40 chance.
But also you were in the middle of a story that I really do want to hear.
I'm going to start over.
I wanted to cut it up.
Hi, everybody.
Are we live?
Yes, we're live.
No.
We're live. Look at that.
Look, here we are.
See that?
Of course we're live.
Yes.
I couldn't do that if we weren't.
Yeah, if we weren't alive, then I wouldn't be able to do anything.
This is Dr. Dylan Caligiuri over here. This is Dr. Molly Miller over here, and I think I hit your tuner, but not your tuner. This is Dr. Molly Miller, our guest.
Yes.
I'm Eugene Edwards. Welcome to Two Guys with Guitars. Now, we think we're live.
If we're live, can you guys let us know? Like, do the digital pension.
Somebody tell Daniel, we see you, we hear you, that whole thing. I got thumbs up from Daniel.
Okay,
right, Daniel,
thumbs up.
We got Daniel. Of course, Daniel saved me and fixed my pedal board last week. It worked splendidly on a gig Friday night. It was fantastic.
Cool.
I also played the longest version of Take Me Back to Tulsa. No, Take Me Back to Tulsa.
Oh.
Just play like we had to pad, I guess. It was a band I was filling in. I didn't know these guys. And we did that song for so long. And by the way, it's just two chords. It's just 1-5-1.
Did it become like a mantra or like a meditation?
Yes, I ran out of. I was just starting to just openly steal as many 5-1 turnarounds as I could, and I started running out. It was great. Any hoozles, but the pedal board worked, and that's the focus, people. Now, speaking of focus, I want Dylan to tell a story about when he and Molly first met, because they go back years. I've known Molly now for 3 years, but you guys have known each other for more than that.
I can't believe it's only 3 years. And not to mention, for how many conversations we've had, the times we've met in human real life, it's probably one hand. Because we didn't meet in person till a Christmas party. December 22?
I think so.
No, December going into 2022.
Maybe that's like that. But we had done many shows together via Zoom.
So many.
You were just always in a tile.
I know.
Now I knew people who knew you, and they said, no, she has a corporeal existence.
I'm not AI.
That's right. But it was nice. It's just to kind of get the. I'm gonna keep wagging this. I am so sorry. I talk with my hands. All right. So story time. Dylan, how did you meet? You guys met at USC.
Okay. Yeah. So, Molly
say it again.
We went. Now I got to remember it.
Highly esteemed.
Yes, we went to Thornton School of Music.
So there you go.
And we got the studio jazz guitar degree, studio guitar. Anyways, and when I first got there, this was 8 or 9 years ago, I was referred to their first accountability program, which is new in a doctoral program. You don't always get an accountability.
So the idea is that you pretty much,
when
if you're going to get a higher degree, you should be able to.
Yeah, if you need an accountability, and it was like, where's your lunch money?
I mean, I honestly think that more people probably need it their entire life, and not even in a bad way, in a nice way. And they're like, wouldn't it be nice to have more people to be like, I got you your whole life?
Yes, Molly. In fact, when we do the Fender play lessons, you would have this cute. You have a quality control person, and I want them in everything. If I'm choosing a cereal. If I need to fill up on
the quality
gas.
control thing,
choosing out outfits.
Well, this was similar to that, only not quite.
Okay, I'm sorry. We digress.
So I call the Molly Miller. It's this woman named Molly Miller, and she picks up and she said, "What? I can't hear you." And she's like on the freeway or something.
Oh no!
And then she's like, "Oh yeah, oh wow, did you come to? Okay, well, it's gonna be."
You're lying.
It is. No, she was like, "Well, strap in and get ready."
Okay, so you'd been there before, huh?
I don't even remember. Like, it depends what moment you call me. Was I like, God, this is a lot of work? I keep almost cursing and catching myself.
You're allowed to curse. We curse a lot.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like at times it'd be like, fuck, I have a paper due, and I want to have a gig tonight, and like, how do I balance? But now my attitudes is like, my attitude's just like, it's chill. Just do it. Just no big deal. Like, that's my current attitude about it. But it's over.
But that comes with life experience, doesn't it? We can't. If we're 22, we're just not gonna like.
I don't think you can sustain it forever. Is what it is.
No, it's hard. I mean, it was a lot of work, but also I feel like life is hard, and like getting a degree in music while there's challenges around it, it's like
it's not the end of the world.
No, it's just like show up, sack up. That's kind of what I say. I feel like I'm like sometimes not empathetic enough around it. I'm just like, do your work. Big deal.
But yes, okay, maybe that's not the most empathetic groove. However, we need to hear that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to hear that. You were saying this before we were on air the second time,
Listen.
We lose the energy. We lose the energy in talking about what we're gonna do.
Oh yeah.
And then actually that saps the actual doing it.
Can
part.
I tell you what that's from?
Yes, please.
So if we lived in,
and this ties it and tie it into guitar.
If oh Jesus, all right, carry the one. Got it. Okay. So if we lived in India and we were studying Buddhism, or if we were studying Buddhism and say in Pasadena,
Okay.
You'd be assigned a mantra.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
And the mantra, you should never tell anyone what your mantra is.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's not because it won't come true. I mean, it's not like a gender reveal party or anything like that. What it is,
What?
is the mantra is if you tell them, it takes the power out of it. So it's like,
Okay.
Yeah.
if you have a task and you want to do it and you have the idea to do it, if you talk about it too much, it's like the energy that would have gone into doing it gets spent on talking about it.
I hear this advice of people if you want to exercise and lose weight.
Yeah.
If you have a goal, like I want to lose 15 pounds this summer or something like that, the best thing, don't tell anybody.
No.
Wow.
Don't say a
Yeah.
thing, because here's what happens. You announce it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, this summer I'm losing 15 pounds, and there's a lot of good for you. That'll be great. That's gonna be amazing. And
Or
so
you're not going to be able to do it.
No. But then you get, is it the dopamine? Like I get the satisfaction of
Yeah.
having because I got the congrats.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything yet, and so then that lowers our motivation to actually do the thing. So they say nutritionists say just do the plan, and when you do lose the weight
Then you can.
and look great, then take
also won't have
the
to say
compliments.
I like that. Actually,
Take the compliments afterwards, not before.
I feel that two things. In Judaism, there's like a lot of superstition, and like you're not, if you're gonna have a baby, like you don't say the baby's name until it's actually a week after it's
Wow.
born.
Really, I didn't know
There's
that.
a baby naming.
Baby naming
Okay.
party.
A,
or
ba- a
whatever.
name
Yeah.
reveal thing that happens like at the bris or a week after. If you're very observant.
Yeah.
But even like all my siblings, I did not know the names of my nieces and nephews until the minute they were born, which I like, because then you don't get the judgment. And then there's like, you don't let the evil eye know the name is kind of the superstition around it. So I feel that, but also I'm like leaving on tour in a week.
Yeah.
And I have all these things in my head I want to do, but I haven't told people. And I think now that we're having this conversation, I'm going to stick with that. Like,
Stick with it.
I have
Just get
these
'em
like
done.
career, music, tennis goals. that
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna keep.
So
Watch out, Roger.
So you guys met about 7 or 8 years ago. Is that
Yeah.
what I'm gathering?
I think it's longer than that.
But I was nicer on the phone.
No, she was
what did
very
I
nice
say?
on
Was
the
I
phone.
honestly
You're
like,
nice.
what do you?
So here. So basically, then from there, I called Molly several times because there's in this degree path, there could be ambiguity, and that's part of the path is you have to figure out what you're doing.
That makes sense.
And how you're going to do it. You sort
Talking
of
about
create
life?
your own. Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody does it for you, and so like. There was quite a few of those related calls, and then I ended up just following her career path just by waiting until she left places and then going in and sticking myself in those places.
Sure.
You were at Fender first.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was
I'd
the
have
one
to
thing you
check
had
the
on-
W-9s,
Yeah, right.
you know?
That's great. And then, so you're going to be on tour with Jason Mraz this summer. Is it most of the summer, or is it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like 5 weeks, so I feel
okay.
like that's the rest of summer.
It
It's,
pretty much
feel like
is.
it.
right? I
Yeah.
know. I kind of get sad about it.
After rehearsals, and by the time you guys do it,
I
summer's halfway through.
I love summer in LA, but summer on the road will be a blast.
Of course, festivals, outdoor stuff, maybe.
I think normally during summer we'll do like all outdoor amphitheaters.
Yeah.
So we're starting in Edgefield. I love this venue. There's a river next to it.
Yeah.
We played it last summer, and I paddleboarded and
There you
I
go.
jogged on the river, and it was blissful. There's a cute little mall next to it too. So yeah, I think it's a lot of spots like that. Well, I've been to some of them, so I'm excited. It's just all around the U.S. for 5 weeks.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
Last night I was in Austin. We played the Willie's picnic, Willie Nelson's 4th of July picnic.
Yeah.
So cool.
And it
Very
was
jealous.
it was a blast. And it was they put this new soccer stadium up in Austin, and so it was outdoors, and you know the stage jacket I wear
It's warm.
We had not even gone out and done the first, and I was already just covered in sweat.
God.
Yeah.
Just drained. It was fantastic.
Can we get one of those that's like mesh or something like that?
Just for the
Fishnet?
summer?
Yeah,
A
fishnet.
fishnet jacket, but with rhinestones.
Well,
I mean, it's
I
showbiz.
mean-
Let's all right. I'll get Jaime. I get Jaime started on that one. Thank you, Jaime. All right. So now you wanted to talk about now over the years when we've had you on shows, we get into you talked about the cage system, and obviously you're an instructor, but I think today we're going to talk about something a little more conceptual.
Okay.
I think in a phrase, why I play guitar.
Wow.
Yes.
Why I play guitar. And then once I saw this written down, I was like, yeah, I had that. It's like, geez, because I can't do anything else. That's all I keep thinking.
Yeah,
Like,
but
no. I
that's-
chose this instrument at some point.
Yeah.
We all settled on this instrument at some point. We've had guests come in, and a lot of them started on another instrument, and then they somehow ended up with a guitar in their hands, and they stuck with it.
Yeah.
So that we can either now here's to choose your own adventure now, Molly.
Okay.
Either we can go into that now, or we can play something and then talk about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Wow.
I've been in a non-decision making mood,
Oh,
but
I
let's
know
play a
this.
tune.
Okay, let's play
I'm
a
a
tune.
chatty lady, so
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just make a choice if someone has, and it'll just be arbitrarily.
let's play a tune.
So you want to do some swing?
Yeah, let's swing it out.
Let's do, okay, so we're gonna do now. Sunny Side of the Street.
Yeah. Actually, this is actually a perfect song to play because I feel like it does all tie together.
In terms of why she plays
Of
guitar.
why I play
Oh,
guitar.
okay.
Yes.
I was looking
Sorry,
for changes.
It was
thinking,
very hot
well,
and
Yes,
Austin.
it
you
is.
have to
Everything does
remember.
resolve.
The changes
I
do
think so.
resolve.
So
A lot
that's
of
a good point.
2/5s, functional harmony.
Yeah.
Very.
Yes.
Some dissonance though,
Okay.
and some anticipation in there.
tension chords
Yeah.
that
Right.
lead us somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you guys lead here. I may start walking halfway through here, but I just kind of want to hear you guys have a little bit of a conversation.
Okay. I'll do it how we learned how to do it. The Studio Jazz Guitar Department.
All right, take us
USC.
back. This is
You got it. Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
All right. So
Wait,
that was
we got to do the one riff again. Can you do the riff over the 5 chord?
yeah. The part that made him go.
I do love Lydian Dominant.
Yes.
I was talking about this maybe last week.
Yeah.
But there's all these fun shapes.
And those are the chords of Lydian Dominant.
D7 sharp 11. So
Yeah.
that sharp 11 sound, you get all these like
Almost, you feel that whole tone scale somehow being kind of emulated.
Well, because it feels like it's almost gets that parallel. Because some of the shapes are similar.
Yeah.
Like this shape, that's
Yeah.
whole tone and
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Lydian Dominant.
Right.
So you get some similar shape overlap.
Right.
Now, something I noticed the first time I heard you play was that, and I assume this is on purpose. It's the way you choose to speak on guitar.
Can I sing along?
No. No, that's groovy too.
I don't
but
try to
I
do
like that you actually. I feel like so we learn our techniques, right? And we learn fret hand muting and strum hand muting and you know how to like really nail a note and nothing else. And then you seem to have you put all your fret noise and string noise and travel back into the playing. So it's like instead of just going from 3rd fret to 8th fret to transition from one position to another, we'll hear you travel. Yeah, we'll hear the slur, all that. So, and I assume this is a choice, obviously, because what do you think? Why?
You know, why do I? Yeah, I feel like it's all my little brother who
great drummer,
is a drummer, and I feel like rhythm is a really cool thing to explore, but not just rhythm on one note, rhythm and textures. And I feel like there's all these textures on the instrument, and I mostly practice just guitar amp, not necessarily all these pedals and stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's so much that can be explored just on the instrument with sounds.
Oh no, it's very evocative. I mean, it does. I mean, almost like we can almost hear you thinking.
Yeah, and I think that's honest. It's like I think of like vocalists I like too. I don't like super clean playing, and I don't like super clean singers. I want like the personality. I want the flaws. I want the weird stuff. Okay. Yeah. So, and not even, I shouldn't say weird. I want the stuff that comes with it. Like I don't want. Yeah. So I feel like the guitar is such a beautiful instrument, and I do feel like the sounds that come along with it are often not included. But especially when they're done kind of in time. Yeah. So while now I don't necessarily think about it, I think it's just a part of my playing that I've leaned into. Yeah, you know how some things like hybrid picking is something that sometimes I get asked about, and I don't think about it at all. Oh, it just I developed it intentionally at some point for chord melody, and now I just do it. It's not like I'm gonna put my pick for this part and my finger for this part.
Oh my God, yeah, same here. And of course, me, because I just grew up playing country music all my life and rockabilly, that someone say, "Can you show me the blah blah blah?" And it's not until I stop and direct it towards, oh, well, I suppose. I guess I'm hybrid picking. Yeah. But I didn't know.
I guess. Yeah. It's kind of cool when that happens. I feel like you like naturally develop these things, but because they also form your sound, you know?
Yeah. Well, that was the joke when the lockdown had happened and we couldn't tour or anything. And I started teaching privately and people were signing up. I think I told you this story before. And people would sign up and they said, well, I want to learn your style or something like that. And a few people said it. Yeah. And it intimidated me because like, they're in for a severe disappointment because I don't have one. And then it was either you or someone else had said, you know your bad habits? I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, that's your style. That's the stuff. So like, and I had these quirks. Yeah. And they said that ends up being just the way you speak on your instrument. Yeah. And those are the things that you put those things together and you end up with a style. Yeah. Thought out or not. Now you said Sunny Side of the Street, this kind of ties everything together. Why this chart and why these changes, sorry. And then what's it about for you on guitar?
Yeah, I actually was not referring to the changes. Well, I love the changes. There are certain things about, there's certain chord sounds. I love I love that 3 dominant, right? It's just like, something about it that's just so emotional,
like propelling.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's like it's optimistic. It pushes because it pushes up.
Yeah, I mean, like you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just like, oh, give me that chord all day long. Yep. So yeah, I do love a 3 dominant changes wise, but when I was talking with Dylan about like ideas for this today, one of the things that came up is I think so much of what we do is also a very like heady emotional thing.
Cerebral.
Yeah. And so I told him this thing that like what I try to do when I'm playing the instrument is just like, remember like, why am I doing it? It's like, this is joyous. This is fun. Because it's really easy to get in your own way and get in your head, especially I think I think no matter what your journey is, you're going to be in a room with someone that you get intimidated by, or you're going to start thinking about what other people are thinking about you and all these things. And Simone Biles, the Olympian. Yeah. I was listening to an interview of her and it really informed me and like kind of brought me to this like, oh, this is why I do it. She was getting interviewed and this person's like, you know, all these awards, why do you do what you do? And you're so amazing. And like talking about all these pressures about you know, being Simone Biles. And she was kind of like, yeah, I try to ignore it. Like, it's just fun. Wow. And I was like, it's just fun. That's why she's so good. and I was like, think about like guitar players I love. It's not cause it's like, cause it's fun.
Yeah.
And I think coming to your instrument or your art or whatever it is from that point of view of like, why do I do it? Like, cause I freaking love it.
Yeah.
Is better than like, because I want to win a Grammy, because I want to impress my professor, because I want whatever, you know, it's like, why do you do it? Cause I freaking love it.
If we distill that down to like the variable, it's expectations. Because the expectations create like a desired outcome. And if it's not met, or even if you notice along the way, you're not getting close to it, you're like, I'm not meeting the expectations.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like not living life on life's terms, if you will.
Sure.
But yeah, so I think that's really hard once you started doing that to get away from it too.
I'll tell you what, Daniel, do we have anybody in the chat? Ask people in the chat, or we're going to ask you guys, why do you play guitar?
Yeah.
Why do you play guitar? We're a couple months into the show.
And you can't quit just because we asked.
Okay. No, but why do you play guitar? And your answers could range from, well, I was inspired by an uncle, or but it could be something as silly. I mean, I just remember for me, like when I was a really little kid, I was painfully shy. And then once I went into grade school, I opened up more and started playing sports and things. But once I got the notion that I could get a guitar and play it, maybe. I remember even I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I consciously knew like, oh, this is going to be the tool with which I will relate to the world, community. Like people say, well, what are you into? I had an answer.
Yeah.
What do you want to be when you grow up? I had an answer. Or just when you walk, it was like, oh, that's Gene. Oh yeah, he noodles on guitar a lot. Like people would have something to say about you. It was pure identity. Really.
I say that a lot. I think you like need ways to like identify yourself in the world. Mm-hmm. And yeah. Music.
But for people that don't know Molly, like she's a genuinely optimistic person. So I mean, she really is.
Sunny side of the street. I mean,
I do.
Like any human being, like I get real.
Right. But it takes. I think that's the other thing. Is it takes work.
That's Molly
to be an
Moody Miller.
Optimist. It takes like you can either work towards the pessimism or you can work towards the optimism.
But it is expectation. I do think like that's something that I think about a lot. It's not like optimism, pessimism of just like what's your expectation, and like you don't have control over outcomes.
Just your behavior.
Yeah, but it's like if you show up like in a positive state and like showing up and doing your best, that's pretty dang cool.
Somebody's gonna get sober during this show, I think.
That'd be amazing.
4 days clean.
More God. For me.
Willing. Yeah.
So no, Dylan. Why do you play guitar?
Oh man. Well,
do you remember?
Yeah.
Like when it was.
I remember what inspired me to play guitar.
Let's start there.
It's pretty easy to forget. I gotta admit, like when you're trying to work up the upward mobility ladder, it gets really hard to remember why you did this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think what happens probably to a lot of people is if you don't go back to that or whatever version of that exists now, you probably won't continue on. Or you'll probably continue on very painfully.
Yes.
Like Kevin Spacey's character in LA Confidential.
Oh, I haven't seen
Guyz,
it.
right? Detective.
That's an insanely violent movie. Have you ever seen that movie?
I haven't seen it. I kind of veer away from violence.
It's shockingly
unless it was Kill Bill.
violent.
I don't remember
that one.
It was, it's not nearly as violent as Kill Bill. Oh my God!
But
But Kill Bill's the fun violence.
It's fun violence.
At one point, one of the detectives asked Kevin Spacey's character because they were talking about why'd you become a police officer, and one guy he tells the story of, and then he asks Kevin Spacey's character, and I don't remember. Now at this point, his character's is just trying to always get in the headlines, always like busting actors, and he was just doing it to be famous in L.A. at that point. But clearly, that wasn't the reason why he became a cop. His character, he didn't remember, and we had seen him. And at this point, when we first meet him in the movie, he's the detective who's lost his way. Yeah, and that's the thing. He didn't remember why he started.
There's a big thing that exists now more than ever, probably, and it's like, I think you think I should blank.
Yeah,
and now it takes concerted effort to not just enter into I think you think I should do this. I
mean, it starts as a kid,
yeah.
You know, like I think like you'll have your parents be like, oh, Dylan's the smart one.
Right.
He's like, Eugene's the one that's really good at guitar. And then like, you're like, that's what I should do.
Yeah.
I should get it. This is who I am. I'm the funny one. And like, I think those comments will inform like that too.
There's a theory.
social media.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. There's a theory, not mine, but I've heard it about Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
Way back in the beginning, first couple albums, that he was somehow changed after the third album, after Born to Run, because of the great reviews he had been getting.
Yeah.
And so the first three albums, he's writing about a lot of things in life. And then at some point, it was the reviewers that kind of focused on these romantic ideals about cars and girls. And then after that, he starts to really only write about cars and girls. Because I think the idea is that he started to focus his work on stuff that they thought he should be doing.
Totally. It's so
Again, I'm not saying that's accurate. Any Springsteen fans out there,
It's
I'm just
probably
saying
pretty
it's
accurate,
A theory,
Springsteen fans.
you know, at some point where we,
Yeah.
I don't know. And now but then again, if you're an entertainer, if this starts to transition to that, now so we're like, well, maybe not slave to public opinion, but
I know I said this to Dylan too when we were chatting. Like, I mean, everything is connected, but like that whole Jason's tour manager was like early on, like first tour, he sent me some review that like said a nice thing about me.
Oh, great.
You know, and he's like, and he sent it to me and it was like, if you believe the good, you have to believe the bad.
That's right.
You know?
That's why I don't look at comments either way.
And I was like, I was like, there's a power in that, you know, but also I think the problem is then you try to like be, can't say the word, but yeah, you don't feel anything, you know, if you're like trying not
numb.
You're like, if you're like, okay, I'm not going to pay attention to good, I'm not going to pay attention to bad, then sometimes you're like, well, what am I going to pay attention to?
Now you're just in a
And
vacuum.
you could feel removed. You could feel like
Detached.
You're detached.
There's the
Yeah.
word.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to play another tune?
I think we should do the other tune that's up. The
Sunny.
Which was that?
no, the other one.
After Midnight?
Yeah.
I will say the treadmill over there says sunny on it too. On the
Oh
bottom.
my gosh.
There
It's
is
a very sunny very sunny
It's a
episode.
scratcher day, folks.
It's as somebody who was melting in the sun yesterday in Austin. Although happy to say, I went to the beach on Sunday with my daughter. Very gray because it's June.
Yeah.
It's August and September is really when you hit the beach around here, and that's when the
Yeah,
water's perfect.
it's
so we
counter to
went
it.
to the beach, and then afterwards we went and saw Jaws in the theater.
Fun.
That was a perfect Sunday.
That's a nice
a good
day.
You switch the order next time.
We would have. She and I, we talked about that. We would have preferred that, but the Eagle is a little theater in Eagle Rock that's back up and running. But they were screening Jaws at 4 PM, so it just wasn't feasible to like then go to the beach. But
I was there Saturday. I did a long bike ride, and I was all like excited. I started with like shorts and just my like bikini. I was like, let's go. And I was like, freezing.
See?
It was so cold because I came from the east side and I went west, and I was like,
yep.
no.
It's like
yeah.
20 degrees cooler
Oh,
right
no,
now.
no. We were on the beach, and my daughter said, "Dad, maybe we could just go to Gliselle Park pool and swim."
I know.
because we knew it was scorching hot back in Eagle
Yeah.
Rock, and that was that was the plan. That's what we did.
LA stuff.
LA stuff. Sorry, yes, that was right.
Remind me which key we're playing this in.
C. A lot of C today.
Wow.
A lot of
Actually, they're
vitamin C in the sunny
all
songs.
C.
These are all.
Well, yeah.
Sunny.
C major.
Yeah, you're right. Good point. Good point.
And but as most of you can tell, I have no experience playing fretless bass. But the other bass Dylan has here is 5 strings. I have even less experience with that.
All of my basses double as Rubik's cubes.
Yeah, exactly.
So they.
Brought my own guitar.
Daniel,
I know what we're
wait,
band.
before we jam again, Daniel, how are we doing in the chats, buddy?
Oh, we have plenty of questions to answer.
Oh,
You
we should
guys
do
wanna
some of
get
that.
to
Let's
them?
knock
We should
out
do
some of this
that
You want to
first.
answer? Okay. Marilee asks, can you guys talk about how to use the circle of fifths and how it relates to the tonic, dominant, subdominant, etc.?
That is, well, Marilee, that is and you know what? That tie-in tells you a lot about yourself. You know what I mean? Because if we're talking about like what makes you want to play guitar and you come up with a circle of fifths, I think that means you're interested in the technical aspects of guitar at this moment.
Sure.
How about this? How about if you are in the key of C and you want to go to the key of F? So you're going to go C, A minor, and F. All right, so you can use the circle of fifths to add dominance in between that. So C, and then let's see. Let's go to A minor, C, A minor, G, F. Now you can add another fifth away from G. So we've got C, A minor. You can continue adding fives between every one of your chord changes. That's a way to use the circle
And
of
you
fifths.
see them. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of the tonic, dominant, and subdominant, you want to take that, Molly?
Yeah, it's funny when people talk about circle of fifths. I feel like it often gets confusing.
Yeah.
But what I like to say is if you look at that image, I don't know how high tech, or if you're on your computer, just Google circle of fifths.
Yep.
And you'll see an image where it's like C, G, D, and it just goes around your guitar or the circle, rather in fifths. Circle of fifths, circle of fourths, same thing, just inverse of each other. But I say it's a good visual tool.
Yes.
You know, one, to see how many sharps are in a key, to see how
Yeah.
many flats are in a key. It's a good practice tool because if you're practicing a scale or something, you can make sure you hit it in all 12 keys. So it's not necessary. It becomes so mysterious, but it's like a, if you think about math, like it's like a formula. So the circle of fifths is a great tool to see keys. What's relative, major, minor.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do advise you, not only just do you have the circle of fifths, but if you can write the relative minors in a circle inside that circle.
Yeah.
So right below C, you're going to put A minor. And then to the right of that, you're E minor. So then when you select a key, you can actually, for the most part, see all the diatonic chords of a key right in a small spot. So it helps you with your songwriting.
Yeah.
If you just want to get I mean,
You can go to closely related keys when you're going to switch keys.
And you can
so
see-
the nearest related keys.
well, you
are
can
gonna be extra
literally
for that.
see how far away E flat is from A major.
Sure.
Which is far.
It's pretty far.
It's so
Yeah.
which
like
means
Mars.
If you,
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a great question.
hope
But yeah,
that
that's a
helps,
real
Marilee.
specific question, Marilee. I love that you went there. What else we got, Daniel?
Darren M asks to Dr. Miller, who did you listen to in your youth that inspired
In my
or
youth?
still
That's a good
inspires
one.
your playing?
That's a great one.
Okay, in my youth, I'm a Southern California lady. So, like, when I'm talking young, it was like No Doubt, Sublime, Blink 182. I was loved. And then my taste, I don't know if I want to say it got broadened by jazz. So,
boy.
there was Grant Green and Wes Montgomery.
But may I ask, was that
Yeah.
before you went to USC?
Oh yeah, and that's youth, right? Like childhood with single digits.
Oh, okay.
Early teens.
Oh.
And then Bob Dylan I loved. It's really, I feel like, pretty eclectic, but I think most people it is eclectic. I do listen to folk and jazz rock, pop, but early when I'm thinking my first favorite bands, as a child.
Yeah.
Third Eye Blind, no
The
doubt.
90s stuff.
Blink 182, Bob Dylan I loved in high school, and then it was Hendrix. Hendrix was a big one for me. Clapton I loved. Yeah.
Cool. All right, there you go.
Good one, Darren.
All right, let's play a tune. Let's play Sunny.
Oh, okay.
Shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Am I playing the melody? You want to play?
You got the melody.
I keep thinking I'm gonna screw up that one turnaround. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, we're good. And we're not gonna do the modulation. All right. Okay, fine. Who wrote this?
Bobby Herb.
I just think about Pat Martino.
Oh,
Oh man, he plays it so good.
Oh my God, check that recording out if you haven't. Pat Martino live, Sunny.
But don't check it out after I've played it.
No, it's on Cream, right?
Yeah.
Is it
I mean,
on
wait a
Cream?
couple days and check it out.
It's is it Cream
It's
or
on Cream, yeah. It's so good.
Yeah,
It's like spit out whatever you're eating good.
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
check out
I'll,
Pat Martino.
Go,
Sorry,
Pat.
what was that? Yeah. Oh, sorry.
We got a little
I should've done that.
Lydian dominant again.
Yeah, I know there was. Did you guys hear that?
First I thought it was
But you know what?
major
That's the
seven.
second time it's come up. Can you guys walk through for those who like haven't had experience with modes or things like that? But I always like let the sound come first.
Yeah.
So spell out Lydian dominant and how that's used, and mostly like what do we what emotions do we invoke?
Oh wow.
Jazz.
What
That's the
color?
emotion.
I like see a cat that would bite you.
Okay.
When I hear the words Lydian dominant.
Jazzy cat?
Yeah, like a cat that smokes. You know.
A pipe.
Yeah.
And wears a hat.
No, Lydian dominant. Yeah, so it's one of the modes of melodic minor.
Yeah.
And so it's the fourth mode, I believe. And so
Fourth mode.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. So if you're relating it to the major scale,
That's right.
2 differences.
That's it.
Got
Yeah.
that sharp 4, which
Sharp
is
4.
the Lydian. You got the devil tritone.
Yes.
Not in church, you don't.
And then you got the flat 7.
Which those don't normally. Yeah.
So so the flat 7, that was the cat,
Yeah.
and then the devil's note,
the jazz.
that was the jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's whenever you see a dominant chord with a flat 5 or a sharp 4, it works really well there. There's other places where it works really well,
Yeah.
but that's one
But
of the
that's
best.
your
Non-
gate. That would be your like
Yeah.
if you see that on a chart, like I can use that there.
Yes.
If you spell out that chord, then it kind of gets real kind of spidery.
So Molly, what helped you work on applying a specific scale to its chord scale relationship?
I think 2 things. The sound is really important, understanding the sound. Because
Sure.
when people are like, let me learn modes, it's like, this is G major, this is A Dorian. I'm like, no, you're just playing G major style sometimes.
Right.
You know, it's just like, so I think it's really important first to understand the sound. And I actually like to practice that, or I tell my students also to do it like parallel. Like, okay, if you want E Dorian, the difference between E Dorian and E Phrygian, like understand those. To hear them, I think about it in numbers. That's really important. So it's not just like a shape that my hands are playing, but thinking in numbers. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, like sharp 4 for Lydian.
Yes,
Right.
and the value of that to me was always like, that way I can start manipulating things.
Yeah.
And because then I can identify which of those scale tones I'm going to nudge around or avoid playing.
Yes.
Or that's how you kind of manipulate's a very unfair word, but that's the one I think of. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, I will use this scale, but that doesn't mean I'm going to run the scale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Find the sounds, find the colors.
Please don't
like,
run the scale.
Yeah, so that, well, when we're talking about Lydian dominant, for example, how do I learn it? It's like, I'm like, oh, it's a dominant chord and has that jazzy sharp 4. So then I find it, and not just as a scale, I find it as an arpeggio. I find it as little chords and connect it all together. Because I
Yeah.
feel like that's a major thing with guitar education is like, that gets wrong, taught incorrectly, where you're like detaching the scale from the sound, from the chord, from the arpeggio, from the like it's like, no, they're all one thing.
Right.
This is all together. My scale is attached to the chord, is attached to these little shapes, is attached to an arpeggio I can do. Like they're all should be connected.
And everything's everything's right next door to something else.
Yes.
So that's also like, oh, I'm going to use this to get out of this jam because
Yeah.
if I'm just half a step over from resolving here, and like, but that doesn't happen until you start to really connect.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
Molly's talking about.
Yeah. Numbers.
And then it gets really fun.
Yes,
We
it gets
back,
more
and then
fun.
it gets more fun. Now,
Yeah.
again, you get back to your origin story of, I wanted to have fun on this thing.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's what chord melody, like, if I'm really just not feeling inspired, I've, over the years, chord melody. Grab a song, figure out a chord melody version of it.
Yeah.
Anything.
I agree. It's funny. I like to start my practice like that because I think it is a really cool way to connect to the instrument.
Do you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll just like play chord melodies because I do think, and there's a freedom in it. And there's something about connecting to the instrument where you're playing the melody, you're playing the chords. You're just like, I don't know, you're not like, let me play all these fast scales. You're just like, let
Yeah.
me just like make something musical out of it.
Come on and
Yeah.
play a song.
Yeah. That's cool. I agree though. When I'm lost, I like to give myself assignments, which it sounds like you do too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So it's
Absolutely
like,
do.
I like doing chord melodies a lot.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Love it. Daniel, any more in the chat?
Yeah.
Highlights.
John Webley asks, Dr. Molly, it seems like you are always on the verge of some Keith Jarrett-ish vocalizations.
Oh, wow.
Do you have to suppress that urge when playing guitar?
There's a pill, actually. It's,
Oh my God. Yeah, Daniel's like, Molly, are you always on the verge of, I'm like, a nervous breakdown? Yeah. Is it just like oozing out of me? No, I'm just kidding. Actually, one side comment, a YouTube video. It's my favorite comment I've ever received because sometimes I do read the comments. It was, less cocaine, more marijuana.
As a diagnosis, so,
it's in the DSM.
I don't do either, but noted.
Let's cocaine.
Work with the
Got
drugs.
It. Okay.
I know. Verge, honestly, I try not to sing along because I don't try anything anymore. But so when sometimes like I notice it's annoying to me. Like I'll record myself practicing and I listen back and it's like oh my God, quiet your mouth. So I try. I don't. It's something that I just do.
But your brother does it too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Actually,
when he plays
noticed
drums,
that.
It could be hereditary.
I noticed.
It's hereditary.
Well, no, I just I just think
defect.
I just So do you know? I mean,
do I know why? No.
Do you notice when you're doing it in the moment?
No. I'll on occasion.
Yeah.
I notice if I'll get conscious of it and then I'm like, ugh, but I do not notice it.
Okay.
Wait, there's a reason for this. It makes you play lyrically. Because listen, if I'm gonna go like
Kind of what I sound like. I'm like,
but that's not really a sustainable vocal model, right? So if I was gonna go like you're gonna end up playing like an instrument that has a breath capacity in relation to the way you play. And guitar, we have this, some people call it an asset. I call it a serious issue. That is, we don't ever have to take a breath. And so we could just, and there's a lot of examples of this going around.
Guitarists out there, listen to horn players.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
True. Transcribe horn players, not just guitar players.
I will assign, especially like for great single note, like sax solos from Drifters records.
Lester Young.
That's cool.
Just manageable. Like, I'm talking like intermediate, but it's just like listen to clarinet players. Listen to it because when you transcribe that, you will be transcribing rests. Rests will be there because they have to physically be there, and you want that to inform your playing. Like if you talk about why was Jeff Beck so great, phrasing. I mean, there's a lot of other things, but phrasing. Like you would like listen to Jeff Beck, and you kind of. I find myself laughing. He'll play a phrase and I'm cracking up. It's like listening to like a great lecturer or a great storyteller. And so but it's always in phrases. As surely as I use phrases to speak to you right now, that's how we would like to play. Or when we talk about tasteful playing. Yeah. We, amongst other things, we talk about phrases. Yeah. And phrases have rests between them.
Yes, I agree. And I used to say this, like, when we're talking or telling a story, one sentence leads to the next.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the guitar. If you're like saying something like, I used to be like, I went to the beach. Mom, what's for lunch? It's like you need like a coherent, streamlined storytelling. So it's like the same thing. Breath, which I think is all tied together.
Do we have either you keep up with it or some episodes ago, we were talking about phrasing, call and response. And so it was like, just come up with
I did not come up with that. No.
Or maybe someone in the comments. I think
it was Dylan that came up with that concept.
So when they try and think of a phrase.
You were Jesus, I don't know.
Yeah. They actually think of a phrase to say.
Oh, that's
my car is dirty. Next phrase, I need to wash my car.
Yeah.
And then they just try to get that
blues or something.
Yeah, just try to get something. You gotta.
My car is dirty.
Don't diddle that.
Yeah. I need to wash my car.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I know. There's a cheap wash down the street.
Yeah. Not
$7.
here. I have to go to Silver Lake to get anything
the Fletcher.
done.
That's the one.
That is the one.
I know.
Is it good?
I got a car pass.
Do you have the monthly pass for that one?
Not that intense. I got a 10 package so it's $6 a car wash. No big deal.
All right. But then now your car's going to be parked for like half a summer. You're not going to be
I know.
Parked and clean, baby.
But it'll be clean, man.
Well, it depends.
It'll be like Vincent Vega coming back at the beginning of Pulp Fiction and gets just never mind.
Is that the scene where they?
No. Well, yeah, later on.
Okay.
Yeah. Good movie. I don't know how we got into
you want to play guitar on this one?
No, what is it?
I
forgot. Oh no, I'll stay on bass. I'm
sure?
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hang out, man. Oh yeah. So we're actually coming to the close of the show.
Wow.
It goes by that fast.
And we're going to keep talking just so you guys know, but you won't know what we're going to talk about.
Right. Oh, well, some of
Absolutely
them will. So actually, our Patreon members will get a little extra 5 minutes.
Oh, that's so
We're
cool.
gonna go offline, but then we're gonna stay right here and
Wow.
probably delve into like maybe another mode and an emotion that goes into.
God.
Or we'll talk about gear.
But we should say, so you can get more of Molly on pickup music.
I want to make so many weird jokes right
Stop it!
Yeah,
Stop
no.
it!
Easy.
Stop it!
Easy.
I had to knock it off. You're not gonna make this any
That's right.
better.
More Molly, pickup music as well as learn
What's
on
wrong
tilt.
with
Let
you?
me actually, can I say, I am actually going to start a Patreon page. So in the next few weeks,
There we go.
The goal is that it's on, but I do master classes where you can interact with me on Learn on Till as well,
Right.
which is a lot of fun because
Yes.
we can just talk.
Live. They're live.
They're live. They're
They're
like
actually
college
live.
classes because they're like interactive.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to do Patreon. So I
Right.
feel like, or you can just slip into my DM for a guitar lesson because I do those on occasion too.
There we go.
A lot of fun learning from this one.
There it is.
I mean, I've learned a lot over the past few years, and we never even had a one-on-one lesson. I just listen to her and then watch her play. That's what we do.
Very
That's what we do.
Just
So
chat.
So now, so yeah, look. So you guys know how to find Dr. Molly Miller, and she has so many. How's and then after you get back, will you do more trio gigs?
I'm actually very excited. Yeah, I have a trio gig Sunday night if you're in LA.
Whoa.
When I get back from rehearsals, I'm playing 1642, and then I've got some gigs like an SF Jazz and Paso Robles Libretto. If you haven't been, that's an amazing spot.
Where's that?
In Paso Robles Libretto.
Oh.
It's so wonderful. So, but we're putting out a new record early next year. I've been actually like finishing up artwork and.
Is it with Jay? And
With Jen and Jay, yeah, we recorded it last year and things are slow. And finally, I've just been like, I've been dragging my feet. And finally, this month, I'm like, I got all my stuff together. So I'm excited. I'm going to put it out. And the details of it are finally crystallizing. So early next year, new record. But yeah, we're going to be playing a lot of shows then, but also some shows in the fall. So
that's
on my
fantastic.
website,
That'll be fun.
I put shows up on my website and on my Instagram.
that's why they have them.
I know.
That's why they have 'em.
Social internet.
All right, we
stuff.
did a couple of songs about the sun. I think because
we
it's
got the sun
summer.
taken
It just
care of
worked
for a
out that
while.
way. But
Yeah.
now, at some point, the sun goes away, and to this day, we still don't know where it goes.
I know.
It's just a weird thing. We just
True.
Well, it actually doesn't go away. We go away from
Oh
it.
my god.
where
Are you a flat earther?
No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I was just trying to see where that went. All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna go out with a JJ Cale tune. JJ Cale, great songwriter, great Oklahoma guy,
One of my faves.
Oklahoman, and it's After Midnight. And
Keep
thank
your
you so
powder
much,
dry.
Molly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dylan, and the Patreon folks. We'll see you afterwards. Let's
Talk
go
more
into it.
about
And then
JJ.
Daniel just gotta take us out. However, Daniel, just feel artistic, buddy.
Here we go.
wanted to do it again.
Ah, yeah, get this little, yeah, you tied it all together. They put a little bow on it, man.
Great job, Molly.
Molly, that was a blast. Thank you so